Hello readers, my name is Andrea, my hair is a mess, and welcome to my booktube channel. As you can see by the title, I read a lot in August. I read a total of 17 books in August, which it sounds like a lot, but then you actually look at what I read and it's like books that are literally like this thick. So I'm just going to go through them real quick. I got my handy dandy notebook with me so I can tell what I'm going through, and my two piles of books behind me. I also have my ratings, so I don't have to look them up this time or try to guess what they are. I'm trying a new setup today. I'm on my bed with my wonderful Kurt Cobain poster and my reading light to accompany me. So I'm just going to jump right into it and sit up straight and tell you what I read in August. My first book is Switched by R.L. Stine, which I gave 5 out of 5. Let's see. I have loved Fear Street since I was a youngin'. This is actually one of the first Fear Street books I have ever bought. It is from the Troy Public Library, which is my local library. I bought it when they were moving, and I fell in love with these. As you can see here, it is falling apart, and very much well loved as a book. I think I have read this book 300 times. That's probably an exaggeration, but to say maybe 30 isn't. I actually really like the way this one is written. It's my favorite Fear Street book, or at least one of them. I like the twist, I like the turns. It's not really that predictable like as a first time read. I think everything is handled really well, and just the imagery is like one of the best things. The writing style is a little different, which I know some of his books are written by ghostwriters. I do not believe this one is. I could be wrong. You can look it up if you want. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars, which I think I already just said. Partly for nostalgia, partly because it is one of my favorites. So that's the first book I read. Second book I read is The Thrill Club by R.L. Stine, another mass paperback book. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars because, again, the writing style, the twists and turns, I wasn't able to predict. Let's see, this is another one that I did buy way back in the day, so I have read this a couple times, but I didn't remember it that well. This one is written by a ghostwriter, so the writing style is different. I think it's better. I think the storyline's better. Definitely would recommend this one if you can find it. I do not know how easy these ones are to find. You could probably find it on Amazon, but to say like go to Barnes & Noble or local bookstore to get one, probably not that easy. But if you can find this, check it out. I'm going to actually show you the book covers here. Yay. Okay, next I read Hoot by Carl Hyacin, which has a bookmark in it because this is a book that I'm going to donate, which I hope to make a video about. But I do, if I finish a book and I don't have any like connection to it, I usually put it in a little free library, which there's a lot in my area. Let's see, this book, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars because I learned that if I get to the endings of books, it can tie everything together. This book was alright. I do recommend it. It's a middle grade book. I loved the message, which is why it got 4 stars instead of 3 stars. It's a message on saving wildlife, and I think that's nice. This book takes place in Florida, and it follows our main boy, whose name I believe is Roy. That rhymed. I love that for me. Roy. Follows our main boy, Roy, who had lived in Montana. His family moves to Florida. His dad works for the government, some sort of crime thing. And he doesn't really have any friends. He gets picked on, blah, blah, blah. And then he finds this boy who's running with no shoes on and wants to help him. And in the meantime, we're seeing vandalism on a Mother Paula's, which is kind of like, I guess, like a pancake house place. Like a Waffle House is what I meant to say, or even an IHOP. And so, where was I? Yep. Roy finds this boy, and we find out that he's doing the vandalism, which isn't really that big of a spoiler, so don't mind that. And it's just like their journey to stop the Mother Paula's house from being built because of these little owls that are on the construction site. It's cute. It's a pretty quick read. It took me a lot longer to read this than it should have, as books do sometimes for me. I do recommend it. It takes a little bit to get into, or at least it did for me, but I would definitely check this out. Let's see. Next book I read was House of Whispers by R.L. Stine. This is a Fear Street Sagas book. It's the second one. I don't really know what the first one is, or if it's like the same story. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I actually really liked this. I liked the story. My hair is not it today. I like the story. I like the writing style. I want to say this is a ghostwriter again, but I could be wrong. This one, instead of taking place in like the 80s, 90s, like his usual Fear Street books do, takes place back in like the 1800s maybe? No. You know, I want to say, well, it could be 1800s because it's like Civil War times. I can't talk. It's actually a really good book. It has some supernatural elements to it, which is really nice. And there's the cover. Definitely check it out if you could. Okay. This one I have to pull a picture on my phone. Next I read The Adventure Zone, Here There Be Gerblins by Clint McElroy, Griffin McElroy, Justin McElroy, Travis McElroy, and Carrie Peisch, maybe is how you say that. I want to make sure y'all can see the cover. Okay, beautiful. Now that we've seen it, I'll wave it around. This is a graphic novel that was actually recommended to me by my friend Aiden. Shout out to him because he always has really good recommendations. The Adventure Zone, if you haven't heard of it, is a D&D podcast. Yes, I play D&D, or I try to. I have dice. That's how official I am. That's not Anyways, it is a podcast, a D&D podcast that I've been meaning to listen to and haven't. And Aiden let me borrow his graphic novel for The Adventure Zone, which is why I do not have it in my person. It was really good. I gave it, 5 out of 5 stars. The art style was amazing. It was laugh out loud funny. I can't wait to read the next one. Like, I sat down and I read it all in one sitting, which isn't really hard to do with the graphic novel, but it's pretty chunky and there are some heavier reading parts in it. So definitely recommend this, especially if you play D&D or are into fantasy. I would definitely give this a read. The second book is out. I just do not have it, and otherwise I would have read it. Next book is another one that I have a picture on my phone. Is Good Morning, Good Night, Little Pep Talks for Me and You by Lin-Manuel Miranda, illustrated by Joni Sun. I love Lin-Manuel Miranda. I love Hamilton. I love In the Heights, that other one that he made, and I only know the one song from by heart. Anyways, it was a really cute book. I actually listened to the audiobook. My mom recommended it to me, so shout out to my mom. We love her. Really cute, really good. It's all of his good morning, good night tweets, which if you follow him on Twitter, usually he does, or he used to, I don't know if he does anymore, does like good morning, good night, little pep talks, like it says in the title. And it was funny because I actually had read some of the tweets before they were in the book. So it was really cute, really nice, short audio book. You can listen to it in like an hour. So I recommend that as well. Most of these are thicker recommendations too, that if you can pick them up, I would definitely give them a read. Alright, next book is The Awakening by Kate Chopin, which I have talked about before, so I won't go too much into it. This is one of my AP summer reading books, so I kind of had to read it, but I did really enjoy it. I've been wanting to read it for a while. It is a classic. I think it's usually considered a feminist book, so I gave this... I gave Good Morning, Good Night, I gave that 5 out of 5, and this I gave 4 out of 5. No reason that I didn't get the extra 5. I just wasn't that like emotionally attached to it. Anyways, next book I read was Halloween Night 2 by R.L. Stine, which I actually gave 3 out of 5, which is one of my lower ratings. I only have a couple other things that are actually rated that low on here. This book, really cheesy. If you're gonna read it, I would definitely read it near Halloween, which I hope to make a Halloween reads video. It's about these kids. It's actually the second one. I never read the first one. Basically, this girl last year, she got like stabbed by her friend or whatever. And this year, someone wants revenge or something. I don't even remember. The names are really generic. The storyline is kind of bleh. But if you want like a quick read, especially during the Halloween season, I would pick this up. It's kind of boring. I mean, I don't have anything else to say. I'm going to stop talking about this and just go on to the next one. Let's see. Next was The Selection by Kiera Cass. I fell in love with this series. I have explained before what happened. Whoa. There we go. I have explained before what happened with this series in Kindle. And once I got the 5 book series, I just like went all out. My goal was to finish this series this month, and I did not get to finish the last book because I'm horrible. But I got into a reading slump, basically. That's what happens after you read 17 books in a row. I really like this. It's basically The Bachelor, The Bachelor for the first 3. The Bachelor, but set in like this dystopian future and royalty. So I would definitely check it out. It's a really quick read. Oh, I forgot the booktuber's name. There's a booktuber I really like. I'll link her channel down below because I know who I'm thinking of and I can find her easily. But she described this series as like a bag of chips. You just keep eating them, but it's not really good for you. That's kind of how these are. I really love them, and no shade at Kiera Cass. They're really, really addicting books, but they're not like the most compelling. It's not like reading like The Book Thief. There's nothing really like meaty in it, but they're really good, really quick reads. I'm addicted, so I would check these out. I will not talk much more about the other the other books in the series because of spoilers, but I think you get the gist. So we'll go on to the next book, which is, I had these in order. I don't want to keep looking at my list. City of Glass by Cassandra Clare, which is probably my favorite in the Mortal Instruments series. This is a reread for me. Let's see. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. It kind of like ties up the first 2 books, which is why the last 3 should have kind of been their own thing, which is fine, but it ties up the other 2. Everything kind of comes to a rest, and it's nice. And I believe at the end of this one, because I stayed up till 1 watching it, excuse me, yeah, Clary and Jace find out they're not actually brother and sister. Spoiler. Sorry, I probably should have said something. I stayed up really late finishing this, even though the epilogue, is that how you pronounce that? That could be completely wrong. Even though I like had it memorized, so I really like skimmed through it, but 5 out of 5, I recommend it, but you have to read the other first two books. You have to read the first 2 other books first. Next book I read, which I will talk for a hot minute about, is She Said Yes, The Unlikely Martyrdom of Cassie Bernal by Misty Bernal. It looks like this. I'm going to talk real quick about this. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, and here's why. This is about a girl whose name is Cassie Bernal. We're going to call her Cassie because I'm not going to keep saying her last name. Who got shot in the Columbine shootings back in, what was that, 95, 99? Yep. Don't even remember when they were. Here we go. You know, I'm not going to look for them. You can look it up, and I'm so sorry that I cannot remember the date. That's really sad. Yeah, 99. Alright. Anyways, this is a really nice story, really emotional, and, you know, I really liked that her mom had written it, and it was really nice to hear about a victim. Sad, but, like, compelling to read about a victim of the Columbine shooting. Here's what I didn't like about it. So Cassie had been in with a bad crowd before. Like, we just kind of hear about Cassie's life before the shooting. I believe they said she was drinking, listening to heavy metal music with that, like, alternative style. And then went to church and basically, like, got turned around. And what I didn't like about all that is her mother, because it's whose point of view we're really in, is, like, you get to hear other excerpts from other people, but it's her mother talking about her daughter. That's basically the book. Her mother, like, just was saying that, like, all alternative people and people with piercings, which, if you didn't know, I am pierced up. I listen to heavy metal music. I listen to Marilyn Manson. Like, I'm not really a scary person, but her mother was really putting that out there and talking about Marilyn Manson and how he caused stuff, and it just really gets under my skin. Like, it's really, that's not why the kids shut up the school. That's not why kids are bad, because of their music and because of piercings. Like, there's always underlying reasons. Other than that, and a little bit of a God message, which I'm not Christian, it was really nice. So I got 3 out of 5. I could have done without the little bit of preachiness. My grandfather recommended this to me a while ago and gave it to me, and I just got around to reading it. But I'd recommend it if you want something short. If you are Christian, I would check this out. It has a nice message in it, and I don't know, it's just nice to hear her story. So I'll stop talking about that now. Next book is another book that I sat down and read. Where am I? Yeah. A book that Really? My thing just said 20% left. We'll get it on the charger ASAP. I got through this in a day. It is The Ghost of Ohio by Andy Biersack, and I have a signed version because I am absolutely obsessed with this man. I have a poster there, 2 posters over there, some more signed stuff. I have a problem. I have met him. Sorry, that sounded really braggy. I didn't want to sound like that. Now I feel bad. Let's see. I'll go through this super quick. It just started raining 3 times harder out than it was. Let's see. I gave 3 out of 5 stars. The story was pretty rushed. It was just about a kid who died and he was a ghost and like tried to protect all these different people. And then the ending was kind of confusing. The storyline was pretty, I felt like it was rushed in ways, like the jumping between time periods was a little bit choppy. The art is very nice and it's written really well. And I think the story could have been better maybe if this was longer or if there were more parts to it, but it doesn't seem like there will be. And just, yeah, I don't know. I gave it 3 out of 5. I wish I could have liked it more. I'm still really proud of Andy for putting this out there. I really liked it. And let's get on to the next one. Let's see. I'm going to pause this and start recording again so that I can charge my phone. So I'll be right back. Hi, I'm back. I got my charger so we can keep talking. Let's see. Next book is The Elite by Kiera Cass. Like I said, I'm not going to talk too much about the other books in the selection series because of spoilers mostly. This one was really good. In a way, I felt like there were parts of it that were unnecessary. Like, this really could have just been the second book. There was a lot of unnecessary drama and I guess you could say character development, but not really. Yeah, I don't know. It was alright. Yeah, I think I gave this 5 out of 5, honestly. Oh, sorry, I gave Ghost of Ohio 4 out of 5. This one I gave 4 out of 5 as well. It just wasn't a 5-star for me. Let's see, next book was Their Eyes Are Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston, which I have already talked about as well. This is a 4 out of 5. I listened to the audiobook more than I actually read it, but I did a decent amount of both. This is another book for my AP English class, and I will actually leave, I could leave them linked down in the description below. If I don't, I do have a playlist on my channel for my AP English books if you want to check them out. Alrighty. Next book is The One by Kiera Cass, which finishes up the first part of the series. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars because I really, really liked it, and I felt like, in a way, you could tell who she was going to get with, but there were moments of doubt. It was really nice. I shed a tear or two, I think. It almost made me cry, if not made me cry. I was really reflective. There we go. Let me sit down differently, even though we're almost done. I'd recommend it. I mean, if you're already reading the series, I wouldn't stop because it does get better. Anyways, next book I read is City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. It's probably one of the least favorites of mine, which I thought was City of Ashes, until I read this. This is so unnecessary, and I know it sets up the mood for, the next 2 books, the last 2 books of the Mortal Instruments series, but, I don't know, I just didn't need it. It's mostly about Simon and Clary and Jace, just being whiny, and, I understand why she wrote it, and I get that it sets up the mood for the next 2 books, but if you really just look at it, it's not her best work. Yes, the writing style is a little bit better because, as writers go on, their writing gets better, and that was really nice. But I didn't need to hear about wedding plans or just Jason Clary being petty and Simon not being in touch with his vampire self. I don't know, it just definitely was not my favorite. I think I actually gave it 3 out of 5 stars, which is a really low rating for me for Cassandra Clare. Oh well, I don't really know what to say about it otherwise. The last book I read was The Heir by Kiera Cass, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. This is about the main character's daughter going through kind of the same thing in a different way. I didn't think I was going to like this. At first when I started reading it, I was like, this is really unnecessary. But talk about character development. I'm reading the last book right now, which I should have already finished because I finished this in a day. I literally sat down and read this in a day. Yeah, I actually really liked it. I can't say that I like it more than the first 3 books, but I definitely don't hate it. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't stop at the last book in the series. So that's it. Those are all my August reads. I guess that's a lot. I feel like I could have read more because they're all small books. I really hope you enjoyed. Hopefully. Oh, also, this is my last video before the school year. I'm recording this on Monday, which is Labor Day, and Wednesday is when this will be up. Hopefully, it should be. There's no reason why it shouldn't be. And then Thursday I start school, so I might make a video on that, and I might make a video on my current reads, because currently I am in a reading slump, so I haven't been reading as much. I actually have 3 books that I'm currently reading and 2 that I want to add to the list, but I'm not going to. So yeah, hopefully September I can get some reading done. I am taking all college classes for senior year, for the most part, besides advanced art and digital photography. I'm taking college classes. So maybe I'll make a video on how my first day went. I also have a summer 2019 video coming up, which is just a compilation of things that I did over the summer. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My socials are all in the description below. I have Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Goodreads, and now a Tumblr if you want to go follow me. I am not too active on them. I'd say Snapchat I'm the most active on. I hope I can be more active on all of them. And that is all. So I hope y'all have a good one, and I will see you in my next video.